Hello everybody, it's Lucas, and today we're back on What the Floor, on Where the Earth, and Where Space. And what are we doing? A manga haul for January, also kind of December, because I only got one book in December, and I'm gonna show that book. That book was a pre-order that came from Sci-Fi, and it was Centaurs number 3. I actually haven't read this. I read volume 1 of Centaurs and I really enjoyed it, and as you know, I'm a bitch for Ru Sumiyoshi, so I know I'm gonna enjoy it. So I'm waiting to get the full series before I binge all of it. It's a 6-volume series, yes. Then, as you might have seen, in January I was a part of a reading sprint, and as a part of that, I caught up to my physicals of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, and I also reread my Androgynous Boyfriend. So of course, next time that me and my friend Fish, the manga menace, met up, we obviously had to go to the local manga store, and I obviously had to buy more Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. So this is volume 16. We are in the Red House arc. It's so hard to talk about this series because I don't want to spoil, but there's so much happening. And they went we got answers to some really long time coming mysteries in these two. I also got volume 17, forgot to say that. We got some answers to Hanako-kun's backstory, and I'm going to try and not spoil, but it went some wild places. A kid got groomed into being evil by a house. That's my one sentence review of this. I can't wait to obviously buy the rest of this, probably next time I go to the store. And as I said, I also got My Androgynous Boyfriend volume 5. This is the last one in the series. Don't you love it when romance covers last volume spoils the ending? Can you guess what happens at the end of this romance manga? As I've said, this manga actually went to places I didn't expect it to go, because it went really quite meta with it. Because in the series there's this character that's a mangaka. The main girl, you see, she works as an editor, and one of her clients is this mangaka. And he's previously made mostly erotica, erotic BL and all that. But this time he gets inspired by the duo that the main guy is a part of, the Unicorn Boys group that the main character and this guy forms. So he starts making a manga about them being wholesome, cute, androgynous boys, which obviously is one step away from the plot of the actual manga. But that's not all, because the manga in this manga gets adapted into a live action show. And who are the actors that play the characters? It's obviously the Unicorn Boys. So in volume 4 they go and record that, and then in volume 5 we see parts of it. And then I found out that that's because this manga got a live action TV special. So the real life mangaka just got inspired by by the real life manga getting an adaptation, and made it so that the fictional manga inside this manga got its own fictional adaptation, and the characters watch that and discuss. You get it. I think it's actually really interesting insight. I also, afterwards, when I had finished it, I was like, oh yeah, let's see what other stuff this mangaka has made. All of their previous work, let me pull it up real quick on my anime list, is like yaoi. But not just yaoi, it's like quite niche yaoi. I'm trying not to use like yachi language because I don't think it's anything wrong with it. Mostly. Following the death of his parents, Mutuharu raises his younger brother Akio all on his own. Mutuharu starts selling his body to make ends meet. Akio, an honor student with a bright future, often catches Mutaharu sleeping with his clients and cleans up after him. But despite the perfect little brother image, Akio harbors a dangerous brotherly love. That was the synopsis to one of the authors of My Androgynous Boyfriend's other work. Let's see, his latest work is Son of a Bitch in Love. Let's read the synopsis of this one. Harumi, 20 years old, took a midnight walk and came upon a half-naked person who he thought needed help, but they were just a semi-conscious prostitute. They tried to jump his virgin body, but Harumi still took them home. Harumi's boring life is going to become more interesting after picking up this wild stranger. I love how this synopsis implies that like a semi-conscious prostitute lying on the street isn't a person in need of help. Like, I'm not even making fun of any of these, it's just such a departure from what I thought this mangaka's work was going to be. It just really surprised me. I'm sure there's people who enjoy this work and I can see why. Ibuki, a newly minted sex industry journalist, starts his career interviewing gay porn star Shihiro Yuki. But when Ibuki tries to save Shihiro from a harassing director, he stumbles into his own porn video debut. No! You're my sex star. Oh my god, wait. Here, this one sounds intriguing. Nasuna has always been in love with his twin sister's lover. Even after his sister suddenly passed away in an accident, he continues to visit the lover, who still hasn't gotten over his sister. Since they have the same face, Nasumi starts a relationship with the lover. Damn, I almost want to read that. That sounds messy as fuck. Okay, I gotta move on from this. I just wanted to share it because that was a wild ride I had on my anime list. So yeah, that's what I bought with my friend the fish. Blubber on Brother. So next up, I got a package from Sci-Fire. So I got Friday at the Atelier, Volume 2. I haven't read this yet, but it's about a woman who becomes like a nude model for this artist who paints using naked women and fish. I think it's only like 4 volumes long and it's kind of a romance. I like just like how the main female character is so unbothered. Chill queen. I would want to smoke with her, honestly. Then I continued my slow buy of Requiem of the Rose King. I'm actually getting like really close to like finishing the series. I think I have like 3 volumes left to buy. I still haven't read any of it. I finally got volume 1 of Touring After the Apocalypse. I've had volume 2 in my collection for like a year now, because I got it at a physical sale at the local bookshop when they were like selling out all of the volumes of this. I didn't get volume 1, and it wasn't the right moment to like start buying it yet, but now it was the right moment. I read this just like a day ago, and it was really good. So the thing is that this girl isn't actually a human girl, this is a robot. This is a human. And it's really intriguing because there are more mysteries in this than I thought. You might think it's just like a slice of life, but they're actually looking for this girl's older sister. They're like following a route the sister took before the apocalypse happened. So we get to see like the locations before the apocalypse, and then when these girls get to it, it's after the apocalypse. And it's just so clear that the mangaka loves to draw, for one, motorcycles, and for two, just like ruined cities and stuff. And if you enjoy like The Last of Us and the art style in that, you're definitely going to enjoy this. Or like apocalypse media in general, there's like a lot of animals scurrying about. You can see a rabbit up there. There's like a lot of trees and plants taking over. There's a tank. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I haven't read volume 2 yet, but I'm definitely gonna. And then I'm probably gonna continue it. It also, I should mention, it has some like tiny Yuri vibes, like if you squint really hard, there's like some Yuri in it, because they say like, oh, I want to be with you for forever, and like they sleep in the same bed, I think, but it's not like an obvious Yuri. And also a really weird thing is that the translation notes is like in the not at the end. So that, if you're like me and you like to check the translation notes while you're reading, that can be a bit annoying to have to like find it over and over. Then, very exciting, I got volume 8 and volume 9 of Even Though We're Adults. I have volume 10 on pre-order, and once that comes in, I'm gonna have the full series complete. This is, of course, by Takaku Shimura, who's made like a lot of LGBT works. I read, I think, like the first 3 volumes of the series, and by that point I could tell that I really enjoyed it. It has realistic, like, lesbian depictions, and it has drama, it has messiness. It's like, the main characters in this, especially her, isn't exactly good people. They're more complex than that, and I like seeing it. I think like these two have really good chemistry, so you know, I'm waiting to get the last volume in so I can like read it all at once. And then lastly, in the sci-fi package, I got volume 1 of When the Villainess Seduces the Main Heroine. And I can't even lie, when I got the package, while I was like setting my books into my bookcase, I like got distracted and just sat on the floor for like half an hour and read this, because I was so excited. I just love Yuri. And it's a 2-volume series, and I actually already got the second book pre-ordered, so it's coming soon, I guess. But this was just like really up my alley, because as you may know, probably not, I'm very asexual, but despite the title, there isn't like actual sex scenes in this manga. It's like mostly boobs, breasting, bobbly and stuff, and then like talking, like there's a lot of sweet talk and stuff. And it's also just them being fluffy overall. But there's no like actual on-screen sex, which I can find a bit like boring or awkward. And there's also this cat. This cat fucking killed me. His name is Stray, and I guess I kin him or something, because he's a feline who loves women. But he doesn't just love women with big titties. His true passion in life is initiating bouts of lesbian lovemaking. Meow how how! So this manga very clearly started as just like the mangaka posting like little snippets on their Twitter, because for most of this it's just really short chapters, like some of them are like 2 pages long. But then at the end we get like two so-called extras. You really can't see that on the screen, but there are 2 extras which are like no the usual like proper longer chapters with like an overarching story. And I hope the second volume is more of this, because I really enjoyed the characters like getting to do a bit more than just being cute and stuff together. And I also really enjoyed this manga's take on like sex work, because this character here has been doing sex work since she was quite young for the sake of her family. And even now when these two are together, there's a part in this book where she has to like she uses sex with other men to like get out of a bad situation. And her new girlfriend like learns about it, and it's just skimmed past. She's like, oh, you had to do what you had to do. And like she's never shamed for it. She even like, it's clear that that doing sex work in of itself wasn't horrible. It was the men she was with who were horrible. I just like seeing these 2 women who have had to deal with podcast men all their life getting to be like happy and satisfied together. And I'm really looking forward to volume 2 of this. There's the cat. Meow. For the rest of this video, that was the haul, okay? But I'm actually thinking of doing... There's 2 books that are on the edge of being sold off from my collection. And the first one, and the one that I'm most sure of, is volume 1 of Just Like Mona Lisa. So, this volume, this series is 10 volumes long. It's complete, and it's about a world where when people are born, they don't have a gender. Usually they get their gender when they turn 12. But this main character here is about to turn 18 and still doesn't have a gender. I like that the manga uses they them for them, but there's just like so many like smaller details in this that just piss me off. So first of all, what I did know going in, I did know it vaguely, is that this is a love triangle, basically. It's a love triangle between Mona Lisa, that's not their name, I just can't remember what their actual name is, I'm sorry. And their 2 childhood friends, one of which is now a boy and one is a girl. And they happen to... The boy and the girl happen to ask Mona Lisa out on the same day. And as you can see, the girl says, I'll make you a boy, so will you go out with me? And then later on, the boy says, "I like you, Mona Lisa. I'll make you a girl." So the girl character later apologizes for this. The guy character does not. But that's like fine. I can get that. Like if he's gonna have some character development later or something, probably in the later volumes. What what fucked me up in this volume, which it's just okay, so there is this doctor at the school who Mona Lisa goes to for regular checkups because, you know, they haven't got a gender yet, so that means that they need checkups. And this doctor, this guy, is the older brother of the guy who is childhood friends with Mona Lisa. Meaning that she has known this Why did I say? They have known this doctor since they were very young. And I'm just wondering, how is this allowed? Because I know for a fact that, like, for example, with psychologists, you can't be, like, if you even are acquaintances with the psychologist, you can't go to that psychologist. And I just assumed that it's the same for doctors. This is especially since, as we learn, this guy does like physical checkups, like where Mona Lisa has to strip off and like he checks their body. I don't feel like a close familiar friend who has known them since they were young should be allowed to do that, and the manga just continues past that. But then we have to, as if this chapter wasn't done enough, the younger brother comes to his office, the doctor's office, to like drop something off, and the motherfucking doctor spills the beans about Mona Lisa's checkups, like about their test results to the younger brother. Does the Hippocratic Oath mean nothing to this man? You are not allowed to discuss your patient's information like that. Especially not when you know that they are they are friends. And of course, this asshole fucking uses the information to like be like, "Oh, Mona Lisa, I heard about your test results. They must mean that you are into me and you are turning into a girl for my sake." So yeah, it kind of pissed me off. I didn't really, in general, I don't like love triangles, but like, My Love Mix-Up is one of my favorite series, so like, it's not that I'm super opposed to it, but none of the characters really pulled me in. I don't want Mona Lisa to end up with either of these two people. If so, the girl would be better, I guess. But it just... And the afterword at the end makes it make a lot more sense, because when you read the synopsis, you probably assume that this series is going to be about Mona Lisa and their coming of age journey and like realizing their identity. But no, it's more like a love triangle with like the no gender part just like clipped on, because I guess we couldn't have one of the love interests being like gay or queer or something, because the mangaka from the beginning just wanted to make a basic love triangle, and it was the publishers that like told them to spice it up a little. But yeah, so after I read this, I was like a little bit iffy about if I wanted to continue it. So I read on. I went online and like checked what people have said about it, and here comes some spoilers. Warning, spoilers for just like Mona Lisa. But I learned that in this world, there are no non-binary people, because no non-binary people have reached past the age of 20, because having no gender gives them like a special mental illness that makes all of them kill themselves. And then I learned that the last 2 volumes has like... Okay, so the last 2 volumes are divided into 2 chapters. One of the last volumes is if Mona Lisa turns into a girl, and then it's like, okay, girl Mona Lisa, what if they date the guy or the girl? And then the other volume is Mona Lisa turns into a guy, what if guy Mona Lisa dates the guy or the girl? And like, nice that they can date whoever, not based on the gender, but like, not having an ending where like Mona Lisa just continues being sexless seems weird. It kind of it seems like they are comfortable just being in the middle. So yeah, okay, so I know the ending, and also not having like an actual proper ending is weird. Like, even Blue Flag, even if some people don't like the ending, I do, and like think that people should have ended up with other people, it has an ending. It went for it. It didn't just like want to pussy please everyone, so they gave us 4 fucking alternates. They chose an ending and they stuck to it. I don't get why some like love triangle or like harem stories do this, where there's like multiple alternates and the audience gets to choose one, because a story is supposed to be like, when you make a story, you're supposed to think of a start, a middle, and an end. And if you have 4 alternate endings, you couldn't have thought of an ending. So then the story isn't going to be building up to anything, because it's building up to 4 different fucking things. So then how are you going to make the build up proper? Like, okay, so yeah, so this one, I'm selling it, definitely. Sorry, Mona Lisa. I was so hyped. And on the topic of like manga with like weird or like unusual gender presentations, we got Otonaliko Complex. And the biggest reason I'm selling this, selling this is because the first time I read it, I set it aside. A few days later, when I was choosing which book to read, I thought, oh, I should read Otonali Complex, because I had forgotten that I had read it like a few days before. And being forgettable is never a good sign. And right now I'm rereading it. I think I got like halfway through. And my expectations was like these 2 were going to stay friends, and then the people around them would like fall in love with them. But no, it's like he has a crush on her and they're childhood friends. And I don't know, I very much enjoy the trope of a boy and a girl being able to be childhood friends and then staying friends, because I know when I was a kid, I had a very close guy friend. Of course, I am a cis guy, what are you talking about? Of course, I'm a cis guy, but like, for some reason, people just like all the time teased us that, oh, we were together, we were going to be together, and stuff like that. And it's so fucking annoying, and that trope isn't for me. I also just like don't really see the romantic chemistry between them. And another thing, I gotta say, okay, so this here is the guy, the same guy on the cover, because he doesn't dress this way himself. He only looks like this when his sisters, who are like makeup artists, like do a makeover for him, and he's fine with that because they've done it since he was little. But he himself has no interest in... He doesn't have that much of an interest in like makeup and feminine clothes and stuff. It's just that I thought this series, and maybe I just had the wrong expectations, but I thought it was going to be about, you know, a tomboy and a girlish boy, and like the struggles that come with that. But I don't feel like this series understands what living like that is. Because constantly through this volume, everyone thinks that this girl is a boy. And like that happens, for sure, but mostly when you're a tomboy, people just think that you're mean, and they just think that you're rude, and they think that you're a faggot. And another thing that annoys me is like this girl got no boobs, and some mangaka just don't draw that, which is fine. But in this series, there are other girl characters, and who are friends with her and stuff, like this one, and she got boobs, and I don't understand why the other girl characters are drawn with it, but just because she's a tomboy, she can't have boobs. Do no boyish girls have boobs suddenly? This is why She Loves to Cook and She Loves to Eat is so good. Now that's a proper butch. That's a proper tomboy. It doesn't matter if you got long or short hair or however your body is built. It's about the butch spirit. Anyway, so I'm going to think more about if I want to keep this manga or not, but it's in dangerous territory. That was my January manga haul and some of my unhauling thoughts. And as always, boom. And as always, Yume is here to remind you to like and subscribe. Yay! I'm going to go back to my 7 adopted children plus my Wonder Bull now and try and save them from the plague for the 3rd time. Thanks for watching.
I'm bleeding again.